If you've got a roof that's got a different structure than your neighbor's, you might have a mansard roof. But what is that and what's so different about it? By the end of this video, you'll know what a mansard roof is, how to identify one, as well as the pros and cons of having a mansard roof. A mansard roof is a four-sided gambrel-style hip roof. Now, if you're just learning about this stuff for the first time, all of that just might be gibberish to you. But let me explain. A hip roof essentially means that all of the sides slope down from the peak of the roof as opposed to having a gabled or flat edge. A gambrel-style roof is a roof that has that flat edge, but the sloped edges don't have a consistent pitch like a hip roof. Where a hip roof has one consistent pitch the whole way up, a gambrel style has a steep sloped lower end and a low sloped upper end that leads to the ridge of the roof. So what happens when you combine those two together? You get a roof that has no flat end, it has two different sloped sections, and that is what we call a mansard roof. The style of roof structure is named after Francois Mansard, a French architect who popularized it during the 17th century. Once you know what you're looking for, it'll be pretty easy to determine if you have a mansard roof on your home or not. The main differentiation between a mansard roof is the two different slopes leading up to the ridge. The first one that you'll see is so steep that it's almost vertical, while the second, higher slope might be less visible. That one will have a far gentler slope and lead up to the top of the roof. The building also must have the roof on all sides of the building in order to be considered a mansard roof with no gabled edges. A standard hip roof will have one consistently sloped surface that goes up to the ridge of the roof on all four sides. A gambrel roof will look much more like a mansard on the sides that are roofed, but on only two sides as they have two gabled edges as well. One of the biggest factors that makes a mansard roof popular is the extra space that it creates in the top layer of a home. Standard hip and gable roofs have loads of space in attics that can really only be utilized for storing small items underneath it. With a mansard roof, the steep slope makes the attic space that could even be used for an additional room. However, that extra space comes with some pretty significant drawbacks. The steep slope makes it so that only certain kinds of materials can be used to roof it and makes it much more expensive to replace when the roof needs it. The low-sloped parts of the mansard roof also may have some trouble as water and snow won't run off of it as fast. That will cause additional wear to the material and increase the frequency of damage occurring. Now that you've learned about mansard roofs, I hope you're starting to feel more confident in taking the next steps in your roofing process. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.